Hey everyone, Tracy Taylor here from Taylor Made Transformations. Today I want to talk a little bit about the tongue being the mightiest sword. It's referenced many times in the Bible about how our words are very, very hurtful. And I think in the society we have, the culture we live in, we've kind of forgotten that. Especially since we really don't communicate face to face a lot of times, or even talking to people on the phone anymore. We text things and sometimes they're misconstrued, and we don't have the tone of our voice and that behind the words. And so a lot of times, if you're not speaking to somebody face to face, you end up saying some things that maybe you wouldn't have said face to face because they didn't sound very nice. But on a text they sound okay. And words have a lasting impact on most people. We live in a culture, a society where, although we have a lot of narcissism nowadays, we also have a lot of people who don't have much self-worth. And when you combine that with a constant and repeated verbal abuse, or being told that you're not good enough, or what, it really can do some lasting damage on people. I have seen people recover from physical abuse, and I'm not condoning any type of abuse, obviously, but I have seen people recover from physical abuse faster than from verbal abuse. That verbal abuse is very, very hard, especially if you grow up with it, or you've been in a relationship or marriage with it for years, because it really can do lasting damage on your psyche. And it's something that's very hard to overcome. Even when you get through over the hump, it's still sometimes a word or an event or something will trigger it. And so it becomes a lifelong work in progress to really overcome verbal abuse. The tongue is, what do they say, the mightiest weapon, and there's many reasons why. And I think one of the problems is that we listen to people when they speak to us from a place of responding what we're going to say, instead of listening and truly hearing the whole story, the entire story. In our thoughts, we're already thinking about what we're going to say when they stop talking. And it's a very hard thing to do, to listen to somebody and entirely listen to them and not process in your mind what you're going to say. It's a very hard thing to do. Next time you're talking to somebody, no matter what the subject, just try and do it. And you'll see that you really have to focus. It's just automatic that a lot of us try and think of what we're going to say next, as opposed to truly listening. And when we truly listen, we hear the entire story instead of just bits and pieces. And we always want to respond from the whole story, not just a place of knowing this or that. We really should know the entire thing. And I tell people, as a rule of thumb, to wait 10 to 15 seconds before you respond to somebody when you're face to face with them. It doesn't seem like a long time, but when you're face to face, it can seem somewhat awkward, but it gives you time to process everything you've just heard and where you want to come back with a response from. And then the other suggestion I have, especially in the day and age that we live in with texting and emailing, I think a lot of us don't answer our phones anymore. We just text. And the problem, folks, is you can't hit unsend. And so when you're in the middle of an argument, or you feel one's brewing, or there's things that have been said or done, honestly, the best thing to do is to really wait and just kind of cool down. I know it's easier said than done, but it's always best to cool down and then try and really have the conversation on the phone or in person. But if that's not possible, then please wait a couple of hours or however long it takes you to get in a space of responding with a clear and cool head, because you will thank yourself later for it. In the end, we always end up regretting something that we've said on an impulse. We've all been there, we've all done that, and it's just really a good rule of thumb to just take the time and wait. Even if it's the next day, sometimes you have to do the next day. Sure, the other person may be upset about your lack of response time, but believe me, that's far easier for someone to overcome than something you said that attacked them as a person. We grow up with, what is the saying? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me, or words will never hurt me. And the truth is words do hurt, and we all know that words hurt. And no matter how tough you may seem on the outside to somebody, the words still hurt. And we need to remember that. We need to speak and treat other people the way we want to be spoken to and treated. A lot of times, too, words are misconstrued or distorted based on our perception. We've talked before about perception on another video, and the truth is the way you perceive is your reality, and that's different for everybody. So depending on how you grew up, your perception on a word may be different than mine. For instance, if you were constantly called stupid, more than likely stupid's probably going to be a trigger word for you for a lot of years, maybe for the rest of your life. But stupid may mean nothing to me, and so we really need to remember that everybody has different triggers and perceptions, and really try and speak from a place of another person's perception. Granted, we can't know everyone's perception, but we can, if we speak like we want to be spoken to, that at least right there gives us a really good foundation to start with. Words can steer someone's actions. They can stir someone's actions. If you're growing up and you're constantly told that you're stupid, you're ugly, you're fat, you're lazy, you're dumb, or you've been in a relationship where you're constantly told something like that, it's human nature to live up to somebody's expectations, whether they're good and high or whether they're low. And so if someone's constantly telling you you're dumb, you're going to live up to that. You're going to think that. It's just human nature. And the way that what we should be doing with people we love, that we care about, is we should be building them up and not tearing them down. And in order to do that, we need to come from a place of love. Our words need to be loving and kind and motivational and inspirational. And it's not saying that people don't have flaws. Everybody has flaws, and there's a way to talk to somebody about those as well, from a caring, kind, loving place. But when you focus on the good of somebody and you build them up, it builds you up too. It builds you up too. And then you really get the results that you're looking for, because when somebody is constantly praised, all they want to do is more good to be praised. It goes for kids, it goes for adults. It's just human nature. It feels good when people acknowledge us and are good. It feels good. It feels really good. We all know that. And words can't be taken back. They can't be forgotten. We can forgive, but we a lot of times just can't forget. And folks, this is a topic that's really honestly very dear to me, because it's really been a lifelong thing for me. And even in my family, I come from a family where the words will cut you like a knife. Sometimes you just wish that somebody would just punched you in the face rather than said the things they said. And I'm not proud of it, and it's been a lifelong lesson. But here's the thing: when you're in a relationship, a friendship, doesn't matter, any type of relationship with a person, the first time you go there with somebody and shoot off at the mouth, is what I call it, it becomes easier to do it the second time, the third time, the fourth time, until you find that that's where you live. And no one wants to live there. It will kill you. It's not a good place to live. It will drain you. It will drain the other person. No one can live like that for long term and not experience severe problems with it mentally. It will tear you down. We replay things people tell us in our heads over and over, and it's hard. It's almost impossible sometimes to get those things out of our mind. We live in this age, like I said, of texts and emails and internet forums, and we start fires that take a lifetime to put out. So please remember that your tongue is the mightiest weapon you have. Use those words to lift somebody up and not cut them down, not tear them down. I hope that helps somebody today. If you would take a moment, I would love for you guys to run over to my YouTube channel, Taylor Made Transformations. Take a moment to subscribe, like, comment, and share on my videos. I would really, truly appreciate it. Have a great day, guys.